Hi, my name is Julianne, and today I'm going to be doing my November-December wrap-up, talking about books, TV shows, movies, and short films. It's going to be a long video because I'm going to be talking and diving into some of the stuff I'm talking about, so I will put timestamps here if you want to skip to a particular section. First thing I want to talk about is It Devours by Joseph Fink and Jeffrey Cranor. It's set in the same world as Welcome to Night Vale, but you don't necessarily need to have listened to it. I do recommend having listened to Night Vale. It's about the intersection between faith, or like religion, and science, and it's really interesting how they do it, because when I heard it was about science and religion in one book, I was nervous because well, YouTube comment section does exist, so it just was like nervous to hear about like, oh, what are they gonna do? Like, you know, these are two like really hot debates and mixing together. There's a lot of tension there, and yet they do it so flawlessly and beautiful and give voice to both sides, and it's not like saying, oh, religion's better or science is better, just saying like, hey, they can coexist. I recommend it. You should all go read it. It's beautiful. Some of the books that I had to read for school were Never Let Me Go, Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, and Life of Pi. They're decent. Better than I thought they would be. Out of the three, I think Life of Pi is my favorite, and I am a full supporter of the Tiger story. I really did like all three. I liked Adventures of Huckleberry Finn more than I thought I would. Not that it was the greatest book, but it was better than I thought it would be. Anyways, those are the books that I read for school. Moving on, I don't really need to give them that much attention. I had to write an essay on it. I don't feel like going over it again. The second to last book I want to discuss is Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare. This is the third book in the Infernal Devices series. Infernal Devices it takes place in the Victorian era, and to be fair, I like this series more than the Mortal Instruments series. It made me like Magnus, so that's two characters in this universe that I love. I literally only like two characters. I like Simon, I like Magnus. I do like Victorian era stories. Like, I love stories that take place in the late 1800s, especially if there's a supernatural twist to it. I like the ending to the series. I do think Cassandra Clare is really good with epilogues, especially in the third Mortal Instrument book. I do want to point out that it is Clockwork Angel, Prince, then Princess. I got confused because Prince and Princess, like, why are the names so close together? Whatever. I started reading Princess first, and then I was like, oh, I think I just got spoiled on something. I recommend the Infernal Devices. Like, you don't even have to read Mortal Instruments. Infernal Devices is pretty good. Many of you may have heard of Kingsman, the gorgeous movie with the beautiful fight scenes. I mean, they're gory and disturbing, but they're awesome and just beautifully choreographed. For those who don't know, it's based off of a comic book, which I have, and I have read, and the movie is better. Let's all be real. I watched a bunch of reviews. Every single person's like, the movie's better. I still recommend this. I still recommend checking this book out, or this comic book out. I mean, there were definitely scenes in here that were actually really good, where I was like, oh, that'd be interesting if they put that in the movie. Like the wedding scene, with that was great. I do like reading this because you can see so many of the similarities and differences. Definitely just as bloody as the movie, so if you enjoy that, the comic book has it covered. And they do have the whole like kidnapping celebrities thing, so that is definitely a thing from the comics. I'm only going to be discussing two of the shows I'm watching. I'll watch more, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to quickly talk about two of them. Two of the shows I'm watching. One is called When Calls the Heart. It's great. It takes place in the early 1900s in Canada. It's a romance between Jack and Elizabeth. You just get a lot of Little House on the Prairie vibes. And it's also created by Michael Landon Jr., son of Michael Landon, creator of Little House on the Prairie. So it was nice finding that out, and I could definitely feel the similarities. I don't know if that's on purpose or I'm projecting. I honestly really like When Calls the Heart. It sounds stupid, it sounds sappy, but so much stuff happens in that show. Like, the mayor is corrupt and is the cop from Riverdale, which I thought was interesting. Like, it gets crazy on the show. And the cinematography, on point. Like, I literally will pause the video just to look at the gorgeous scenery. I honestly enjoy it. If you liked Little House on the Prairie, you'll probably like the show. The next show I want to talk about is Mindhunter. So freaking good. It's basically about the behavioral science unit and how that formed in the FBI back in the 70s. So the whole show, they're just going around talking to serial killers. It's really awesome. I will maybe, hopefully, make an actual video about it and go into depth and talk about it and discuss it, but I don't really want to spoil anything. It is a kind of intense show. Serial killers are talking about their crimes, and it is brutal, but I do recommend it if you're into like crime shows and just to kind of see these people sit down and talk with serial killers. So I do notice the guy, I forgot his name, but I'll put it here. In Mindhunter, he actually plays a character in Bright, the movie that I'll discuss later, but I was like, wait, that guy looks so familiar, and then I'm like, oh, because he's a serial killer in Mindhunter. But I do recommend it, highly recommend it, seriously. Go watch it. Moving on now to... First short film I want to talk about is Stealing Time. I have discussed this in my short films that I watch video. I'll link down below. Really, really good about time travel. But it is the best time travel I've ever seen. Like, I swear, like, this is the best time travel. I don't want to go into too much detail. I've already discussed it before. But I love it a lot, so that's why I rewatched it, because it's just so good. It's fun. It's a fun show, or it's a fun short film. The next one I want to talk about is called The Laundromat. Stars Eliza Taylor, Clark from the 100, so obviously that's why I watched it. I really enjoyed it. The problem with short films, it's hard to explain exactly what's going on because, you know, a lot of them are like 10 minutes long. You don't want to say anything because they'll just spoil it, but basically it takes place in a laundromat and Eliza Taylor's there. Highly recommend it. Like, I actually really enjoyed it. The next thing I wanted to discuss, again, time travel, but it's called Interview with a Time Traveler. This one as well, the summary is the title, and it was also really interesting. I really enjoyed it. It was very intriguing. I don't want to go into too much detail because spoilers, but this one I really enjoyed. Like, it was a really good one, and very interesting. Like, having this interview with a time traveler, to be real, like, I haven't really seen that done, like, just in the way that it was done in the short film, so I do recommend that one as well. Then the last one I want to discuss, this is one I'm most excited to talk about. It's called The Library. Out of the list that I just gave, I would say The Library and Stealing Time are my top two that like, if you're going to watch any short film, watch these two. So the title of the video is a sad and heart-touching short film. And I was like, it's not going to be that sad. I'm not going to cry. Dude, I was bawling by the end. Dang, that short film hit me in the feels. Like, I was legit crying. The acting was great. It was just kind of like this whole time you're just like, what is gonna happen? Because it pretty much only takes place at the library. It was funny too. Like, I actually laughed. I'm like, I'm not gonna cry. This is funny. And like the main girl and her friend, like, they were great. I liked that dynamic. It was just, highly recommend it. It was really, really good. If you're going to watch The Library, do not read the description because it literally spoils a bunch of stuff. I can't believe they actually made Psych the movie. Oh my god, I'm so excited. It was great. I feel like I prefer the show over the movie, but the movie was fun. It was good to get a little Spencer back in my life. I just like literally yesterday, I spent like all day watching a Psych marathon on TV. It just felt so good to get back into that show. I'm so sad they took that off Netflix. I really, really enjoyed that show. It was cool to see that they put in a movie as well. Like, seriously, I know all the catchphrases and everything. I honestly I've heard it both ways, like, in my life, like, all the time. I'm gonna move on from Psych the movie to Justice League now. So I'm not gonna say the name, but I'm pretty sure every single person knows exactly who I'm talking about. This actor was in another movie and they had to reshoot a bunch of scenes, but he had a mustache, so they used CGI to get rid of it. Apparently it was noticeable to everyone but me. They just used CGI to get rid of his mustache. That's funny. Oh my god. I do a lot of research on how movies are made, irregardless of the fact that I'm never making a movie in my life. But I like to know how movies are made. I don't know, it interests me. I think it's cool. So one of the things that I've realized, like, how important it is, but I never really realized how important it was beginnings of movies, like opening scenes, like obviously they're important, but you don't realize, like I never had it in my mind, like, oh, opening scene of a movie is incredibly important and really sets up the rest of the tone of the movie. And to give an example that I think was just perfect example of a great opening scene is in Happy Death Day. Quick summary, basically it's Groundhog's Day but with murder. It's great, I love it. The opening scene is of a clock tower, you know, and the whole movie is about how the person's stuck in one day, so it's about time. So the clock tower is off to the side as if time itself is skewed and it's off, and like it's such a little detail, but the fact that they even did that in the beginning of the movie, it's just I don't know, I really enjoyed it. Like seeing that, I was like, this is so smart of them to do that. So in Justice League, beginning of the movie, you have Superman. There's like a video, like some kid is videoing him, and the kid asks Superman, what is the greatest thing about Earth? This kid asks the question, Superman looks at the camera, says nothing, I think he gave a smile, fades to black, the movie begins. That's the question you have to think about when you're watching this movie. What is the greatest thing about Earth? What is this movie trying to say is the greatest thing about Earth? I honestly think that they're saying the greatest thing about Earth is our ability to come together and solve problems. Is that what they're actually saying? I don't know, but that's what I got out of it. It's why I think it's a decent movie, is the fact that they set up this question and they answered it, and it was a pretty good answer. That does not necessarily mean it's the greatest movie because they set up a question and they answered it. Doesn't, you know, that doesn't make a movie amazing. But it was a little thing that I appreciated about the movie that made me like it more than I probably would have. I also want to say one thing about the movie that I did not like was how we just never found out what happened to Fluffy the cat. Am I the only one who noticed the poster that said Fluffy the cat missing? No, just me? Am I the only one who pays attention to random details in the background? I also noticed that the Mindhunter actor was in that, only at the beginning, never shows up again. I apologize for the vacuum cleaner in the background. That was not planned, but okay, we're just gonna keep going with the video. The next movie I want to talk about is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. This was the fight with Gia I wanted. This was the fight. Honestly, I wanted this fight so much in Blood of Olympus. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, it's a Marvel movie, it takes place in space. It's great. I enjoy it. It's definitely an interesting one, and I appreciate it more than I did before. I did watch Lindsay Ellings, I think is her name, Ellis, something like that. I'll link her video down below in regards to Guardians of the Galaxy. Her videos are really interesting and very insightful. So watching her review of Guardians of the Galaxy really made me appreciate the movie more than I did while watching it. It was a good movie. I enjoy it. I definitely enjoyed it more than Justice League. I would say so far Psych the movie is my favorite out of the three, but Guardians of the Galaxy is pretty good. With my friends, I watched Bright. This one was really good. I was looking up one of the actors, the actor from Mindhunter. I was like, okay, this guy's familiar. Where have I seen him from? So I was looking it up. I found an article or something that says that Bright, the Netflix original movie, is the worst movie of 2017. And I was like, wait, what? There is going to be a second movie, which I'm so hyped about because this world is so interesting. I do like the song at the beginning. As soon as I heard the voice, I was like, this is Rag and Bone Man. And I was right. Like, I know his voice, and now I have a new favorite Rag and Bone song. Rag and Bone Man song. There we go. So, let me explain what this movie is about. It stars Will Smith, playing Will Smith, Jacobi, and you have these two characters who are cops in this, it's modern times, but it's like urban fantasy. It's very interesting the way they do it in this world. It's like elves are real, fairies are real, orcs are real, everyone knows it's real. And the whole movie is definitely an allegory towards race and racial issues. So it's interesting to watch it and to see it as that, but it's also an entertaining movie. Definitely brings in the whole like prophecy thing that you see in like every fantasy related show. It's really cool to see how this 2-hour movie really brings in all this vocabulary and this world, and it doesn't feel too forced. It's not that difficult. They don't throw too many vernacular at you, especially if you're into fantasy. Like, you obviously know what orcs are, you know what elves are, you know what fairies are. Like, that stuff makes sense. It was an entertaining film. I highly recommend it. Honestly, I might even rewatch it at some point. Confession, I had never seen Star Wars, but I knew a lot about it, and I'm sure everyone knows where I'm going with this. I saw the new one, The Last Jedi, so I finally saw that. My first Star Wars movie. It was really interesting. I wasn't planning on ever seeing Star Wars, kind of just was like content with never seeing it, and then my family was like, we're gonna go see this, and I was like, okay, guess I'll come along. It was interesting to see, like, to witness and experience the scrolling text. Like, I've seen the scrolling text, but like I've never seen the scroll. Does that make sense? I've seen pictures of the scrolling text. I've never seen it scroll. I am a writer, I promise. It was interesting to watch this movie. Honestly, I think it was a really good movie. Let me go into the reasons why. But before I do, let me talk about the stuff that was weird. Not the lore or mythology. I listen to EOS 10. Like, I watch Doctor Who. Like, I understand sci-fi. Like, that doesn't feel too weird to me. I mean the editing stuff that they did. That was weird, that I noticed. So, in the beginning of the movie, there's no spoilers, by the way, for anyone just talking about editing. That doesn't spoil anything. Okay? It has no bearing on the plotline. At the beginning, the camera is zooming in on this planet, and you would expect that this camera continue to zoom in on the planet, and then you get to see the ground. But it starts zooming, then cuts to the ground so abruptly that it took me out of the movie. I was like, wait, what? Like, we're zooming in on this planet and now we're randomly on the ground. Like, that was such a... It was like if I did a really bad jump cut. It was just jarring to watch. I was like, wait, what? Like, I'm not saying it made the movie weird. Or I'm not saying that it made the movie bad at all. It was just something I noticed that I thought was weird. Also, it was shot in Dubrovnik, which I think is interesting because I have... my host sister is from Dubrovnik. Also, my sister wanted me to plug in Rotary Exchange, so if you want to go on exchange, you should do it through Rotary. That's what my sister wanted me to tell you guys. Moving on though, talking about Star Wars and not exchange, it was very beautiful to watch the movie. Like, I really love the cinematography. Like, space is gorgeous. I love space, so seeing the spaceships in conjunction with the stars, it was beautiful. It was beautiful to watch. So if you're into cinematography, gorgeous movie, honestly. I also really love the color palette. I don't know if that's a technical term. I think it's a technical term, I just don't know if I'm using correctly. But they use red versus white, and the way they use red versus white, like that coloring at the end in the final battle stuff that was going on, beautiful. It's beautiful to watch. And then in the movie, the bad guys are bathed in like red light, the good guys are bathed in white light. At the end, seeing how they actually really did mix like red and white together with the thing at the end. Like, I'm not gonna go into details, I don't want to spoil too much. And it was really good editing where two people were kind of had like a psychic link, and the way they edited it together was interesting. Also, I thought this was gonna be my favorite character. Once I saw the trailer, I was like I think it started screaming, and I was like, that's my favorite. I like that character already. It's my second favorite character. I really liked BB-8. I don't know, it was adorable. And that's it, that's all I gotta say. It was a good film, really good editing, pretty good story. They balanced everything fairly well. I could go into more details, but this video is way too long. Like, literally, I've been talking for like over an hour. I am so tired from talking. So, watch Star Wars, it was great. I'm done for this video. Thank you for watching. Those were all the stuff I watched and read. And, leave comments. I don't know, I'm exhausted from talking. Goodbye. Let's go see Justice League instead. I keep falling. Alright, books are over. Woo! Got answered, and I don't know why there's a vacuum cleaner going on in the background. Okay, I almost fell. Oh god, I'm so tired. Star Wars, really? Okay, in the middle of my video, still vacuuming. Didn't realize my house was this big. Stop fooling around. Moving on.